Good morning. So we're still technically on day 2, I guess. This will be my Essence Drain starter diary for Delirium. And before we get to the leveling part, I guess we'll talk a little bit about the league itself, as I show you some map gameplay of the build in its current state. Normally, I always ignore all the new league content until I reach maps, and while I did ignore it for the majority of my leveling up until Aqueduct, the few times I did do it, it felt pretty worth it, because I got a bunch of Chaos and Alks most of the times. We also have a chance to drop Uniques, and Uniques are, well, they're locked to item level, so the lower zone level we do the Deliriums, we should have a very higher chance to get a Tabula, and while I did not ever get a Tabula, I did get the 5-link Prophecy to drop in Act 8. While the build, still on a 5-link and decent gear, feels really good inside Deliriums. The league itself is insanely laggy, and in terms of risk versus rewards, it is insanely not worth it. It is incredibly rippy, and I hate it, because if something drops and you want to pick it up, the moment you stop or turn back, you're gonna die. I teamed up with the guild, and the plan was to do a level with a guildie, but with the constant disconnects and server problems, I ended up out-leveling my partner, and we mutually decided to part ways. My leveling process was starting out with the Stormblast Mines. I absolutely hate the skill, because the playstyle of Mines is just too awkward. I did a few test runs earlier in the week with the explosive traps, and while it wasn't terrible, it just simply couldn't compete with the Stormblast Mines for single target. We're looking for green, green, blue, or blue, blue, green wands. The green, green, blue is for Stormblast Mines, Swift Assembly, and Lesser Poison, while the second is for Frostbomb, Onslaught, and Added Lightning. I feel the ideal setup for Stormblast Mines is going to be Stormblast with Added Lightning and Swift Assembly. However, we can't use that setup until level 8, so not finding a green, green, blue is not terrible. But once I swap to Fire Trap, green, green, blue is what I will be looking for. At level 10, we grab Flame Dash and Smoke Mine. We get Fire Trap at level 12 as a reward, but I also need 2 additional transmutes for multiple traps and combustion. Considering the amount of transmutes I need to upgrade my wands and for other things, realistically, I won't have enough to swap at level 12. Also this early, Fire Trap has a pretty god-awful single target, so I decided to wait with Fire Trap until Act 3, level 20-ish. Our setup here would be Fire Trap, Combustion, and multiple traps. The reason for multiple traps is simply for higher AoE, because this early on we won't have access to enough AoE on the tree. For single target bossing, we swap multi-trap for Swift Assembly, and for a 4-link we add in Trap and Mind Gem. So with Fire Trap, I'm picking up a few general trap nodes and generic damage over time, which means I'm mainly scaling the burn damage of Fire Trap, which is perfect, because that's less nodes to respec from once we swap to Essence Drain. We get Essence Drain at level 12, but we don't get enough AoE on the tree to make it good. We don't have increased AoE gem until level 38. We also need a ton of transmutes and chance orbs to buy our support gems for Essence Drain. Initially, the plan was to respec to Essence Drain once I hit Act 6 and did Lilith's quest for the respec points and the ability to buy every gem. However, in my test runs, while Essence Drain was pretty good clear and damage at this point, it felt a little clunky not having enough cast speed from the tree, so I decided to wait with my swap until Aqueduct, when it was time to farm for my Tabula. And I have to say I was very happy I stuck with Fire Trap, because on a 4-link and a +1 wand, the damage was absolutely insane. It was quite literally one-shotting Act bosses. Fire Trap is insane, boys! I was a little worried about Essence Drain once I hit Aqueducts, because even at Stage 2, Delirium Stage 2, it became straight up impossible to kill Delirium monsters. But once I had maps, for some reason it did get a lot better. But for the majority of my Aqueducts grind, I was more or less forced to ignore the Delirium portals. A slight problem with respecing to Essence Drain is that we need 2 4-links and a 3-link ideally. So we're currently 87. I was hoping for 90 plus, but I've been insanely unlucky with map drops and I haven't been buying any maps. I've been running pretty much only tier 3s and 4s to try and get the missing maps, but I think I should probably just give up and buy the damn things. So let's have a look-see at my current setup. So we got an energy shield helmet here, so I'm currently collecting CI gear, trying to collect CI gear at least, so for when I do my second respec, I guess. So we got second wind with flame dash here, which gives me 1 more flame dash. Running discipline with faster casting. We got our 5-link that I used my 5-link prophecy on. In here we got essence drain with void manipulation, efficacy, control destruction, and swift affliction. Got some random ass boots here with temp chains, blasphemy, malevolence. So I tried running malevolence and discipline, but temp chains is just too damn good. In terms of survivability, I decided to drop Malevolence. Malevolence at this point doesn't really scale our damage that great anyway, so I'm gonna wait. I'm probably actually not ever gonna run Malevolence, except for bosses, so yeah. Got some random amulet, random rings, random belts. Random gloves with contagion, AoE, intensify, and arcane surge. So basically, I haven't traded for a single item. I bought the base for a Sadie's Garb, like the highest one I could buy. At like day 1 was a 71. But yeah, basically everything's self-found. I found this staff. I had a. What was my old wands? I have them saved somewhere. Yeah, I had a +1 to chaos skills, and I had this Cash of a Time multiplier. Now, these two are actually more or less equal to potentially slightly more damage than this staff, which fucking blows my mind, by the way. +1 is just too damn strong. So, I managed to 6-socket this thing in like 1 jeweler, and I decided to see if I could, 5-link it for fun, and I did in a few things. So I 5-linked my Blight for single target. So we got Blight, Control Destruction, Infused Channeling, Efficacy, and Void Manipulation. As for our tree, currently looks like this. I'm still missing 1 trial for Uber. So my Uber will be Prolonged Death. Grab Patient Reaper, the first thing I did for, well, obviously damage. And Escape Artist on my Merc Lab for the stun immunity. And my tree essentially looks very identical to my previous Essence Rain build diary. Yeah, it's basically identical, except the added Arcane Expanse. I wasn't really prepared for this, because there's no way I don't want this, but this also is 3 additional passive points I wasn't planning on. But yeah, just currently trying to connect and prepare for my respec once I get enough CI gear. At that point we will respec to CI, and we'll move Revenge of the Hunted for Void Barrier. We'll get rid of these life nodes. We'll grab Soul Thief. We will get rid of these nodes. Pick up CI. We'll run down to Foresight. We will cut off this entire portion here. Grab Insightfulness. A Natural Calm. We'll head over for Celis. And Faith and Steel, potentially a socket down here. And yeah, that is the build in its current state. I will try and remember to post an update to once I actually do my swap, but I'm gonna need a lot of gear to like finish the build. But once I do that, I will post up part 2. Thank you for watching.